Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 13 of the Gamers Parley. It's been quite a while, and we have a nice slicked out version of Navaid
I
here.
know, just growing out my hair. So I was like,
Looking good, man. Looking
thank,
good.
thank you. You know,
I'm losing mine.
getting my
That's it.
beard out. I like your haircut. It's nice. Whoever cut it did a good job.
Yeah, it was what was it? Tunisian.
Tunisian in Italy. That's nice.
Yes, they've closed all the kebab shops around my town, and they're all opening up barber shops.
Well,
The same people, which is kind of dodgy.
the same people.
So a kebab maker cut my hair and did a better job than any Italian did in
Oh,
30 years.
there you go. I'm gonna go find a kebab maker here
Yeah.
and be like,
If only they made a kebab as well, that would have been fantastic. Just sitting there like this, eating, and they're cutting your hair. That would have been
man,
even
that
better.
that would have been a nice business idea, like restaurant and a haircut, but not
Yeah.
at the same time. You don't want hair all over your kebabs. But yeah, um,
Just a bit more than usual.
yeah, that's true. No, but man, it's yeah, just in I guess in the anticipation for Death Stranding 2, I'm going back to Sam's, port.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both of us had long hair after that.
Yeah, and I'm following way too much because I have a lot of gray hair too now. Like DS2 is all old. Time
How
for
old are you now?
34.
Okay, so you're a couple years older than me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm one of those lucky people that doesn't have one white hair for now.
Oh wow. Like yeah,
At
mine
32.
mine started
So
really fast. So good for you.
yeah, for now.
Yeah. All right. It's always good to have that salt and pepper look going.
Mm. Oh,
Mostly
men
pepper.
age much better than than women.
uh, but yeah, so I don't plan on like coloring, kind of putting any chemicals in anything in my hair. So hopefully just let it be as it is. But yeah, dude, everything else is good. What about you? Well, like, what have you been up to lately?
I finally managed to start gaming again after some
Nice.
time. I
Nice.
finished some of my projects, and so I've picked up Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, there you go. I've
Oh,
just,
there you got it in the background.
yeah,
Man, what a game. What
I
a
know. It's
game.
a brilliant, and you're playing on the PS4.
I'm
And
playing on the PS4. I haven't noticed any like drops in FPS,
Mhm.
but you do get many like textures not loading in.
Mm.
But then again,
Yeah, it's
still
okay.
playable, fantastic
But
game.
yeah, it looks stunning on the PS5. It's
I can just imagine.
such a brilliant game so far. We'll talk about it. Let's finish it and we'll have like a proper review
Yeah.
of I think Devesh is playing it too. So I
Oh,
think
fantastic.
yeah, so he's close to where you are too. I think he's in the earlier chapters.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll do an episode on that. But yeah, same here. I've been gaming. I finished A Plague's Tale Requiem. That was really good. I really enjoyed it.
S5.
Yes.
Did you have like the hordes of rats?
Rats, yeah, man. I love the first one too. The second one also is really good. They, definitely had a bigger budget this time.
Mm.
Um, I yeah, really enjoyed it. There were some parts that could have been shorter, but overall a really good game. I love that series. And after that, I started the Resident Evil
Hmm.
and still playing that. I'm almost at the end, so I'm getting there.
16 chapters, I believe.
Yes, and I'm on the 13th.
Hmm.
So I just got like I heard the 14th one is like really big, so I'm like,
All right.
almost there. Yeah.
It opens up a bit.
Yeah. But it's been fun, man. It's just reliving that childhood memories from the old PS2 era. That game was, yeah, it was ahead of its time.
Hmm.
Even then, right? Hats off to Shinji Mikami,
Yep.
the legendary creator of the series. But yeah,
I was
that's
reading
about
up
it.
about it.
Mhm.
They're actually going for another Resident Evil 3 sort of tank controls and fixed angle camera
Good thought.
before they made number 4. And then they
Uh,
started changing the game, making it a bit more action adventure,
yeah,
and
just
it became Devil May Cry.
yep. I remember that. They so it made it to Devil May Cry, and then they
Yeah.
read Resident Evil 4, which is pretty
They
cool.
reinvented Biohazard again, yeah.
No, what a great game. But other than that, just been slowly working on like busy with my work and also starting to learn more Unreal Engine. I did that Death Stranding
Yeah, that
video.
was good.
Yeah, I don't know. When I saw that shot in the game, I was like, I mean, in the trailer, I was like, that reminds me of the moon for some reason. I don't know why.
It
And
just looks so epic in the trailer that
yeah, that was
the
like
two
that.
towers, the two
Yeah, it's like a
monoliths.
gateway and the monolith, of course, and they were all like small pieces. So that's why the very first shot is actually kind of like an homage to 2001: A Space
Yeah,
Odyssey.
yeah.
That whole monolith thing, that was the opening shot, and had the Earth in the background, and it
Hmm.
was like that was I was like, okay, let's make it the moon. That wasn't my plan.
Uh-huh.
I just was gonna do it, and then I'm like, what do I do when I put in the effects and everything, and then I had the plugin that has this. It's called the is it called Unlimited Sky or Ultra Dynamic Sky,
Hmm.
and that has a bunch of different features that you can put on your scene, and it had a space layer. And I turned on the space layer, and you can put like Jupiter, whatever, on this thing. I'm like,
In the
and I should
background.
utilize this. I'm like, how do I utilize this? And I'm like, and then it came to me like the first time I saw the shot, I thought it was moon. And then I was thinking about Cliff's dialogue to BB where he goes, you can go anywhere, even the moon. Like, let's see. And it had a Earth layer too on the plugin. I'm like, perfect. And I moved it right where I wanted it. I'm like, now it looks like moon.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, let's just go with this.
Yeah. That was such a red herring, that phrase in the game.
Yeah.
For now, maybe.
Yeah.
Red herring for now.
Like I remember we had so many theories. Oh, we're gonna go to the
Uh,
moon in the later part of the game and this and that. But I still think we're gonna eventually get there. There was a reason that was in that
mhm.
whole first part and the book, and Cliff being so clear about it. I think we're getting there, and with this ship and everything in Fragile's
Yeah.
company, I think we'll eventually land on the moon, and let's see. Well, I'm
Hmm.
excited about it. I think I do want to make a podcast soon about the anticipation and what we
Yeah.
want from DS2. We already kind of did like a quick analysis of the trailer, but yeah.
Yeah. Also, because Kojima didn't choose Ludens for nothing. Like
Yeah,
you don't design something like that just for the shits and giggles.
yeah, that is true. But who knows? Maybe it's just a mascot.
Mm.
Who knows? But but
It's
I
hard to
agree with
say.
you. Most probably it is going to be
Mm.
something that shows up in the game. Mm, but yeah, so today we are back, as you can tell by Johnny's background. We are actually talking again where we left off. It's been a while actually. We're doing this late because we were all caught up, and I had Ramadan going on too, so I couldn't really do an episode between that. But yeah, we're gonna be reviewing the last episode of The Last of Us, which premiered quite a while ago. But yeah, it's
I
good.
don't remember it anymore.
Yeah, I know. But like, it was a brilliant um, closure to the first
Quite
season.
short, but good.
Yeah, it was short. It was short and sweet. I think they didn't drag it too much, which I liked. They just kept it very, to the point.
Mm.
They had all the moments that needed to be there from the game.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it worked perfectly, except for the whole start was something completely new with Anna. We finally got to
Yeah.
see the birth of Ellie, and we saw Ashley Johnson, who actually,
Ellie.
yeah, who is Ellie from the games, and I think it was such a you could say a full circle
Full
to where
circle, yeah.
yeah to where the game Ellie gave birth to the TV show Ellie, and I think that was a perfect choice by the creators and the director and everyone. I think, and yeah, we never got to see that in the game. It was planned, I think, as a comic, or
Yes.
and also like a DLC actually. From what I read, Neil Druckmann wanted this to be like a DLC with Anna, where we see how Ellie was born. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm glad to see it. We got to see it through the show, and it's amazing how that whole scene kind of plays out again at the end, but in in such a different way where Anna and what's his name? Joel. They both do something very similar for Ellie. They both lie
Yeah.
for her to survive. And at the start where she's when Marlene shows up after the whole debacle with the zombie, well, infected.
Oh,
Yeah, infected.
don't want to get sued. He didn't say.
I don't know why did I say zombie? But yeah, I think the whole scene was brilliantly done where she's like, I cut the cord before
Yeah.
I was bit, and she says it again. She said before,
Mm,
she's lying, but
absolutely.
yeah, because we saw that happening, and again, Marlene is she knows that she's lying too, but she does what she has to. But what did you think of the whole starting?
I just love the choice, first of all, for
Mhm.
Ashley Johnson.
Mhm.
I cannot unhear Ellie though,
Yeah,
because it's her normal voice.
yeah.
Um, nice because I'm always very picky about my biology in the
Mhm.
TV series and movies, and it would make sense.
Mhm.
Yet again, it wouldn't make sense, but I'm glad they tried to give it a biological explanation to why Ellie is immune.
Mhm.
And yeah, I enjoyed it. It was I'm very happy that Neil Druckmann is in on it,
Yeah. Mhm.
because any deviation from the game
Yeah.
that um would piss someone off is justified like this.
They always had a reason for it.
Yeah.
Like yeah, any changes they made, they justified it. Like, we talked about
Mm-hmm.
Sam
Oh
being
yeah.
deaf and blind, and not blind, deaf and mute.
Dumb and Deaf, yeah.
Yeah. So that was like such a great choice, and the way
Mm-hmm.
they put it in the show, that was, it didn't hurt what the original game offered, and then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a brilliant choice again. But yeah, so that was like the whole opening sequence of we saw Anna giving birth to Ellie and passing on that switchblade to her.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that was amazing, and the toll on that it took on Marlene, where we see why Ellie mattered to her so much, and how later on how difficult it must be for her too, to use Ellie as like a savior, just to
Mm-hmm.
risk her being gone forever, but she had to. But yeah, so and then I think right after that we kind of start off where we left in the previous episode, where Ellie got traumatized by David. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see, like, hats off again to Bella Ramsey. She was acting this perfectly, right? And like she's all lost. She's not the Ellie we knew, as we talked about it, right? Something
Mm-hmm.
snapped in her in the previous episode of the whole episode with David. And yeah, like she's all lost, she's not focused. And in a couple of places where Joel actually has to tell her a couple of times, like, Ellie, I'm talking to you. And she's like in her own zone, where I think he was trying to get like a boost, give her a boost to in that whole, I think, was it a warehouse? I don't know. Was it a mall? I don't know. I can't remember what it was. The building. Um,
The hospital,
yeah.
the
Well,
university.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was, yeah, it was such a well played, and I loved how Joel was actually trying to cheer her up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about puns and just trying
Yeah.
to have jokes, and it shows that Joel is on a different level of connection with her too. So yeah, that was brilliantly done. What did you think about the whole?
It's nice to see him open up a bit because he's a very closed character till then.
Yeah, yeah, and they had
Mm.
the whole um sequence too, where Joel sat down with Ellie and told her that that mark on on his head is not actually from a guy missing a shot. It was him
From
himself
him. That
missing the.
was pretty upsetting, but yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't in the game again.
no. Once again, not taken away from the game
Yeah.
and good addition. It makes sense. Like I can understand where he was at that point in his life.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
first
very real.
we saw like, not the first time, but like second or third time where we saw Joel actually crying, right? Just
Hmm.
expressing his emotions. And they both have a very weird way of saying, I love you. Uh,
Yeah.
right. They said it, but they still didn't say it, right? Like they were like, Ellie says, I'm glad that didn't work out.
Hmm.
You trying to shoot yourself and, so that was a really touchy, really moment, the whole episode. And of course, they put up the infamous giraffe scene in there.
Yes.
How beautiful was that? Like how beautiful.
I was smiling from ear to ear at that
I
moment.
know.
And the best part is it wasn't CGI.
Yeah, yeah, that's
People were off their nanas on Twitter because, oh, bloody CGI, bloody CGI. And then they're like, that's where you're wrong,
yeah.
kiddo.
They actually brought in real giraffes. I thought it was CGI too, and I was like, okay. And then I saw after the episode they have the behind the scenes, and I'm like, whoa, that was actually real.
Hmm.
And yeah,
It might be
beautiful.
the blue screen that
It
sort of
was.
gives the idea that it's not real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was.
Compositing to images on
Mhm.
top.
But it's still as emotional and as beautiful as it was in the game.
Hmm.
Uh, I was watching it with my wife, and she was like, "Yes, that was so." I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I felt." I was waiting for that scene to happen, and I was like, "I don't know if they're gonna put it," but I was like, "They have to." It's like an
Hmm.
iconic. They were leaving traces of it with the
Yeah.
giraffe toy, and at the in the earlier episodes, and as soon as she starts running without Joel, I'm like, "Yeah, there it is." So, and my wife is like, "Where's the hell is she running to?" I'm like, "Yeah, keep watching,
Keep watching.
keep watching. You'll find out." But yeah, beautifully done again. It's just the whole. It was like basically scene to scene from the game, right?
Hmm.
Dialogues were really similar, and um, yeah, I'm glad they did not let that scene go. That was one of the most powerful scene of the whole game. Where out of you come out of such dreadness, and then you all of a sudden find this beautiful giraffe just there, and you Ellie starts to pet him, and yeah, I think it's one of the most iconic moments in my gaming life too.
Yeah, pretty much in the last 10 years, if you look at any list on YouTube, that
Yeah,
scene will be in it.
yeah, absolutely, has to
Mm.
be
It's
because
just so dark, the world, and then
yeah,
it just opens up like this out of nowhere.
ray
Because
of light.
no one's expecting it at this moment in the game. You're
Exactly.
coming to the culmination of the game, you're at the end, and then there's a beautiful scene.
Yeah, and then you see that like there's a whole herd just walking through the
Hmm.
whole city, and you can see the cityscape in the back, and they just stand there. Um, so you could stand there as long as you want until you press circle on the game.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, scene to scene copy, beautiful background. It just, I was taken aback to 2013 the first time I experienced that, and yeah, still as beautiful. And
I
then
had
they,
a rough time with the game the first time.
you did?
Yeah, I got it as soon as it came out
Mm,
because I think it was around Christmas.
probably.
They put it out here in Italy for about 20
Christmas?
euro.
I
Like
don't,
we're talking about a $70 game.
I don't think it was Christmas. It was probably May or June because it's
Early May. Okay, so then I waited till Christmas to get it because I remember it was Christmas sale and it
yeah,
was down for like 20 euro. So I said, look, I'll pick it up.
yeah.
And I played through 3, 4 chapters and it was just so repetitive. And I'm like,
Mhm.
this is shit. So I dropped it there. And then I think Uncharted, because it was the last game for PS3.
Uh-huh.
Then I got a PS4
Yeah,
because Uncharted 4 came out.
it came out. Yeah.
Absolutely adored it. And I'm like, you know what? I like Naughty Dog. Let's give it a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
I went through it again and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
I just needed to push through.
the first few.
Yeah.
No, I remember playing it. I got it the very day it came out. I messaged my friend Connor Price, who's blowing up these days, become a big rapper now. But
Hmm.
I messaged him. I was living with my best friend in Toronto, and he was there too. So I just messaged him like, I got this game. You wanna, drop by? He's like, yeah, sure, I'm free. So I remember he came around like 5:30. We started playing at 6. We were supposed to just play for a bit and then do something else or whatever. And me, him, and Zen, we all started to play. And I remember it started at 6 at night. We were done at 9 in the morning. We just played it in one go. We could not put it down. And we were supposed to cook and everything, but we just ordered pizza and we were just taking turns playing segments of the game. And yeah, we were so just blown away by that game, right? And that was my experience with that game. Just finished it in one sitting.
Mhm.
So yeah, all those moments just felt they had a special connection to me because of how we played it, and it's something that me and Connor also talk about when we talk about the old days. Like, oh, remember like when the show came out, we were talking about
Mhm.
yeah, we played it in one go. That was so awesome. So great memory with this game. Um,
Have you
yeah,
picked up the remake at all?
no,
No, I wouldn't mind.
I did not. I was thinking of playing part one on PS5 because it looks so freaking stunning.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous, but as I said, after marriage and with work and everything, you don't really have time to go back. Like you barely have time to play new games. You
Mm.
want to play the games that you've already played. So I was like, no, let me experience some of the newer games that I want to play rather than going back to something that I've
Yeah.
already played and then watched. And I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure they're gonna make part three. So then we're gonna visit The Last of Us universe again.
I'm at that point where I have to choose between sleep an extra hour or play some games at night.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. So it's a tough choice. I wish I had that kind of time as I used to have before to
Mm.
play a game that I could, but yeah, it was it was something. Um, so yeah, I was just so happy they put the whole giraffe scene in there. I think from there we go getting closer to the hospital and those guys show up again. And then when everything is all nice and uh, pretty, things don't stay that way for too
Hmm.
long in the Last of Us universe. And basically, I think there's a flash grenade or something that they threw and
Yeah, flashbang, which
yeah,
is different from the game because they get ambushed
ambush. Yeah, there's a
in
whole sequence.
underwater, like
Uh,
in the
well,
tunnels
yeah,
or
it's
something.
it's a tunnel, and then they get ambushed, and then Ellie falls into the water, and they somehow make it to the shore, and that's where
Yeah.
the people show up, and he gets the butt of the gun, and
Hmm.
then he wakes up in the hospital. But this on in here we see Firefly is basically throwing a flashbang, and we uh, we don't know who it is because he's like, okay, there's another ambush, another group or whatever. But then Joel wakes up and they're in the place they're supposed to be, the Firefly camp.
Hmm.
Um, Joel is still kind of, shaken up, and Marlene shows up, and I don't exactly remember their conversation, but it was something along the line, first thing she
Made
asked
our
me,
choice.
yeah, like her first thing was, how the fuck did you make it here, right? And then he goes, it was all her, and um, it was yeah, no one expected them to make it right through like,
Hmm.
across the country, but yeah, and now Marlene was like, oh, she's in the other room and she's most probably gonna die. She's not coming back. That's what just pisses off Joel completely. And
Hmm.
he wants to go get her. Like that was not something that he expected. He expected, they'll just extract some cells or whatever and work on it. But that thing is supposed to be in your brain, and once you do that, she's gone.
Yeah.
And yeah, Joel was not having it. He did not want to lose another daughter, basically. That's what she's become for him. Like at that point, you can tell throughout the story that um, Ellie is basically the new Sarah for him.
Hmm.
He's had enough loss, even throughout the whole season, right? With Tess and
Yeah, Tess,
yeah, um,
Henry, Sam.
mhm. And they were not like 100% sure if it's going to work or not either, right? If
Yeah.
the whole procedure if will work, if the cure is going to be made or not. But and yeah, so that was what divided the gamers too. Which side were you on?
I was on Joel's side,
Mm,
and was out for dinner tonight, and a good mate of mine, he's a doctor.
Mm.
So I told him, watch the TV series and we'll discuss it. So he watched it. He came back to me and he's like, I loved it. The ending was really good. What I don't get is all the bloody hospital scenes. And I'm like, oh, go, here we go. He's like, no doctor would have sacrificed one patient to save all of them without knowing there's a cure. First, I would have done anti-clonal cells. I would have done a vaccine. I said, yes, that's exactly how I feel every time I watch some scientific show. But yeah, I was so emotional during that point because in the game, I don't remember you committing like a mass genocide.
You do go through
You
it.
do. I haven't played in
Yeah,
ages though.
you go killing everyone until you reach the
Oh, okay, so it's the
operation line.
same.
Yeah,
But I
it
just
is the
loved it
same.
in the TV show. Every shot he pulled and took someone
Oh,
down, I was jumping in my seat.
yeah, hats off to Gustavo
So emotional.
for the music. My God, they could have, I love the choices, some of the choices they made in the game and the show where they could have just gone all John Wick with like
Hmm.
fast-paced music and this and that and him just going through everyone. But they chose slow motion and the slowest music and just with the music taking the front seat and the effect sounds and everything taking the back seat, the back seat with like more muffled sound of what was happening. You see the the violence happening, but the music and the score is just so hauntingly beautiful. It's just perfect. I thought that whole sequence was one of the best sequences of the whole show, where just Joel is just going and killing everyone in his, in his sight. Basically, he's not even stopping to ask. He would just ask, "Where is the
Yeah.
room?" And that's it. If you don't tell him, he's gonna kill
Reminds me of The Last of Us 2, the publicity for the first, I think the first one that came out,
you.
where Ellie's sitting on the bed and Joel walks in and he's like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do about it? She's like, I'm going to kill every last one of them.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what Joel
Yeah.
did. Joel just killed every last one of them, um and she, yeah, he basically reaches the let me search that. What's her name? Who played Abby in season?
Abby, Laurie Bailey,
Yeah, Laura Bailey. Yeah,
Laura Bailey.
yeah, Laura Bailey.
She was in the movie as well, in the TV series.
Yes. So when he finally is just going through the whole massacre and reaches the operation theater, where we see the infamous doctor who's
Hmm.
trying to operate on Ellie. And the one of the nurses in that room is Laura Bailey, who, you don't want to spoil stuff for people, but plays a big role and was the voice of one of the characters that plays a big role in Last of Us Part 2, named Abby. So there was a nice Easter egg in there. She was in
Hmm.
there. Perfect place for her to be in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have placed her in a better situation.
We ain't going to say much about that, but
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, that was brilliantly done. And Joel too is like, you know what, you have to let her go. And the doctor's like, no, I cannot. And
Hmm.
like, unhook her. That's all. He just went into a whole different mode. And then yeah, we see the same scene of him carrying Ellie, and then that whole parking lot scene where Ellie.
Oh,
And again, I'm glad they didn't change it.
yeah,
Where
because it goes flash forward and flash back in the
yeah,
game,
yeah,
and they did it exactly the same.
that just made sense, right? That had the perfect.
Yeah, like in hindsight, if you think about it, if they would have done it temporarily, sorry, like in a timeline, so it happens and then there's the final scene, it wouldn't have been as
As
effective as it
perfect.
is
Yeah,
by doing another little flashback.
because you were kind of like, you're trying to guess what happened, right? Whereas
Yeah.
we see Joel driving, like, oh, did he let her go? Did he save her? What did he do? And then we hear some rustling in the back, and it's like, oh, at least slowly waking up. Like,
Hmm.
oh, so he actually made out with her. So what happened? And then we go in the flashback. And well, before he says that, he's like, oh, what happened? And he's like, oh, turns out they were a lot like you.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to do that. And there's no, they've been trying to get a cure, but no results yet. Or he just straight up lies to Ellie. And then we kind of see in the flashback where he shoots Marlene and then
Yeah.
what? Um, well, first, of course, she pleads for her life, but then she's like, no, she's whatever, they're gonna come for her no matter what. And it's like,
Yeah, you're gonna come back.
yeah. So Joel just finishes the job, straight headshot to Marlene. And poor Marlene, I mean, I feel bad for her. Like, she did so much to save Ellie and got lied to about her twice by Anna and Joel. And yeah, it's sad, but from Joel's perspective,
Wasn't having it.
yeah, it makes sense from his perspective. He wants to make sure there's no one coming back for her. Um, yeah, brilliant. Again, scene to scene copy from the game, and I think Ellie knew in the car itself that Joel's lying.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
she can sort of read him.
Yeah,
especially
now
we're going to get to.
Yeah. And then, yeah, of course, we see them driving towards the beautiful mountains of Jackson, and we have that whole last sequence of them walking towards towards what's his name,
Tommy's settlement.
Tommy's whole settlement in Jackson, and Ellie stops him, and he's like, I think that's when she tells him a bit about Riley too, right? And
no, that's before they get ambushed.
Yeah. True. But yeah, what exactly does she say at the end with Joel? Do you remember?
Promise me.
Yeah, that's the very end. Like I know she said something before that, and then she goes, "Promise me something," and she makes sure, and Joel is like, "Yeah, I promise," what you said was true, and it's like, "Yeah, I promise." I missed that part in the game where he actually rubs the watch.
I missed it in both medium.
Really? Okay, so in the game, if you notice, when he lies to Ellie, he's holding the watch and just rubbing the face of it. The watch was given by Sarah. So he lies, but he's, touching the watch. It's like that emotional thing where he does that.
Body language.
Yeah, and that was not used in the show.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the game it was. I thought it would be there because it was such a neat touch. But yeah, and he lies straight to her face, and then the infamous final shot of okay, and that's it. That's
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, no,
just reliving it now. I got goosebumps.
It's such a brilliant closing shot.
Yeah,
which leaves. It's like
it's so underwhelming.
Yeah, it is in that sense, but it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
It works. That was the case when I was playing the game too, and I was playing it, and it's like okay, and it's fade to black. I'm like, whoa. The camera lingers for like a second or two on her face, and that's it. Like, yeah, okay. This was a good wrap up to their story, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I did not expect a sequel, a game sequel at that point. No one did actually. No one did do more with their story,
but what they delivered.
Yeah, I know. I still remember watching that PlayStation Experience show where Sean Layden, the ex
Sony.
Yeah. And he's like, we got one more thing to show, and the whole greenery starts to appear on the screen. I'm like, what is this?
Is it?
And I'm like, is this Days Gone? Like, what's happening? But then I was like, no, he just said it's a new game with a new engine. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then you see the Firefly. I'm like, oh,
logo on the stop sign or something.
And I was screaming, and so was the crowd. And I was like, yes. But yeah, so such a brilliant season, like such a great adaptation, right, of the whole game. Hats off to amazing job by HBO. the writers and everyone, they nailed it. I think it's
They really take care in their series.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if it's just Craig Mazin, because I've only ever seen Chernobyl,
Yeah,
and that is spot on.
yeah. Craig Mason has done other stuff too, some other movies and stuff, but
Mhm.
they were good, but they didn't get that famous. But I think he
Okay.
he really got big with Chernobyl, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the show that really brought him into the limelight, and as you said, that show was fantastic. And then
Yeah, absolutely.
when I heard that Neil is going to be on board for the show, I was like, yeah, it's going to be good. The writing, at least, is going to be really good. And yeah, they delivered. I think the best adaptation game to any media adaptation film so
Absolutely.
far. I haven't seen
Absolutely.
the new Mario movie, but
I have. We're going to discuss it when you do watch it.
awesome, awesome. I will watch it soon. I'm gonna take my
Mm-hmm.
nephew as his birthday present to go watch
It's
Mario.
a kids' movie.
Yeah,
Go in thinking it's a kids' movie.
yeah, yeah. So I've heard. So
Yeah.
hopefully, soon I'm gonna be able to watch that and we'll talk that. But yeah, overall, a great, great adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Overall, like the whole season was brilliant.
I can't wait for the second one. They start filming soon. I saw some
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Instagram
I
post.
think June or something like that. They're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was The Last of Us, the show. Great discussions. I am glad we got to discuss the whole thing.
Finally.
Yeah, I know. I know. We are a little
Been
late.
very busy.
I know. This was good. But we'll be back soon. We have a few plans. We have a few revamps and stuff coming
Mm-hmm.
up for the channel, and just waiting for the right time. Now we're gonna start, pushing that forward, and we'll have a few interesting updates soon. So
Yeah.
look forward to that.
So, short episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And let us know what we want to talk and discuss next time. Resident Evil 4, probably, and Super Mario
Yeah.
movie.
Yes, that's good.
So, thank you so much,
Good.
guys. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Ciao.
Ciao.